Hola, hola, Bafet. This is the TTP show. My name is Lefatse, and we're talking Stellenbosch. With me today is Vuyani, not Gerald. Hola, hola, Gerald. Are you good?
Sure, I'm good, man. Are you well?
I'm good, I'm good.
Grand Dlamini kunjani apha kuwe?
Ngimnandi, Grootman Lami. We're talking Stellenbosch, Vuyani. Let me start with you. We all know what's Stellenbosch. I think they finished third last season, and they are currently ninth on the log. What's happening there? Or is everything going well, man?
Yeah, Lefatse, I feel like when you have high expectations and you change your objectives, yeah, it does take a toll on you. I think looking at the amount of fixtures that we've played and how thin our squad is, it's taken its toll. But the beauty of it, we still have some game in hand. If I'm looking at how many games we have in hand, if we win all of those games that we have currently in hand, we will be above Chiefs. So yeah, it's been a fixture congested season for us. But when I look at things, Lefatse, the inconsistency in results in the Betway Premiership is going to be a problem, especially now going forward in the second half of the season.
Yeah. No, no, I think you are right there. Gerald, on Monday, man, we shared to see Jose Riveiro might be leaving Orlando Pirates. What do you think? What do you think is happening, and why maybe would Orlando Pirates let go of such a coach who has led them into victory in so many instances?
Yeah, sure, man. I think it's a very sensitive story. I don't think it's a matter of the club letting go of Jose Riveiro. I think his contract is about to end now, and normally both parties have to agree on the way forward. And in my opinion, I think the coach feels like maybe he can't take the club any further. Maybe he feels like he's done what he can with South African football. You look at it, he's already won five cups. He's competing against a very, very good Mamelodi Sundowns. So, I mean, nothing is set in stone, but it looks like, at the end of the season, you might say, my job is done. And with the resources that I've had and the support that I've been given, I've done what I could.
Do you think if maybe Mamelodi Sundowns goes all the way and wins the Betway Premiership, do you think he will leave? No, he would want to stay maybe one more season to try and win it before he leaves.
In my opinion, I think he walks away. I think if you look at the history of the Betway Premiership, uh, you know, as far as a title race and as far as, a team really traveling Sundowns, I think the last time someone really did it was in 2020, just before COVID. That was Kaizer
Yeah.
Chiefs. And 5 years on, Sundowns have just been steamrolling and they've just been really showing their class. And also, besides their class, they've really, really invested. It's one thing having the money, but it's another thing really investing it and putting it in the right places, getting the right people. So, in my opinion, Sundowns is far ahead of other teams. It's very difficult for anyone else to catch up and try and be on the same level. So, you can understand the coach is saying, in a country where there's one dominant team, I've come in and I've managed to win five trophies. I've managed to beat this team twice in finals. I mean, he's when you look at it, you might give himself a pat on the back and say, you know what, we may not have won the bigger one, but we did unsettle things.
Yeah, no, personally, I think you are right. But for me, I think he's that type of a coach that will maybe, but it's just a maybe, who would like to stay, but who knows? Let me go back
We'll
to
see.
you, Vuyani. It seems like in every transfer window, Stellenbosch will be offloading some of their top players. We've seen that with the likes of Jaden Adams. We've seen that happening with this guy, the number 10 that went to Mamelodi Sundowns. Do you think this will not come back and haunt Stellenbosch maybe in the future?
I think in order for us to forecast the future, Lefatse, we need to look at the past. So many teams have taken the same route that Stellenbosch is taking, and with us, we have our over dependence on our youth academy or our DDC team. In the short and long of it, I think if I'm looking at Stellenbosch, if we look at the type of arrivals we get, in the short of it, we could still sustain this, but in the long run, I think it's going to be a problem. Simply because if we want to now challenge and we want to assert our dominance, then we need to be able to retain these players. Because I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm looking at losing Jaden Adams, he's very key. But to bring in someone like Uchiba, Nonku, I'm looking at that and I'm saying it's okay. But going forward, if we want to be taken serious, we need to be able to keep our big name players. I think that's just the short of it. We need to be able to keep these guys because we can see it in the lack of quality we had in the game against Chiefs on Friday. We
Yeah.
needed someone like Jaden in that midfield. We needed someone like Dino van Rooyen at the right back, because we suffered there. Ulilep were changing from right to left, and Nopule Modi, they were causing a havoc. So, yeah, it's going to, in the long run, be an issue.
Yeah, with that being said, Vuyani, are you happy with the signings that Stellenbosch has made with the likes of Tato Kiba, Lisibanku, replacing the likes of Dino van Roy and Jaden Adams in order to try and cement their place in the top 3, top 4 maybe? Are you happy with the signings that they
If I'm gonna be honest with you, Lefatse, they were great findings. I will be a very, very I'll be a greedy person and say I wish it happened earlier. I wish when we started the season we had Ulisse Bangu in our squad. We also had Ukhiba because wow, I mean, watching Khiba's first game at right back and the impact that he had for the team. This is someone that I wish we had in the beginning of the season. But we can't now, fix what's already happened. But I'm very, very happy with him. I saw glimpses of Ulisi Banku in the Chiefs game, and I think he's going to be very influential in the rest of the season. He's going to have he's gonna help us get some very crucial points in that hunt for third place again. So in the long and short again, I am happy.
No. I think, Nami personally, I think Stellenbosch have made great signings, especially with Tato Kib. I
You
think he's going to be a great addition in that midfield squad. And also, you see players like Abu Chapa, they are coming up all right. Gerald, let me come to you, man. But what is happening with the Cape Town Spurs, man? Is it possible that they're going to be relegated twice in a row?
Hey, Cape Town Spurs really hurts me, man, because it's worth mentioning that it's formerly known as Ajax Cape Town. Ajax Cape
Yeah,
Town connected to the Ajax in Amsterdam, the Dutch club. So there was a direct pipeline and a direct pathway for the young players to go overseas and make a name for themselves. We know the names we've made:
yeah.
about Benny McCarthy, Tulani Serrero, and the list is endless. So to see a club that had such a connection with European football not only get relegated from the Betway Premiership, but also be in relegation spots within the NFD, I mean, for me, is a big, big concern. And I don't just say this as a fan. I say this as someone who wants to see, our football grow, who wants to see Cape Town being on the map. I think it is, if you are an Ajax Spurs fan, it is the worst time right now, at a time where Stellenbosch are on the rise. And one could argue that things are about to turn for Cape Town City. So football in Cape Town as a whole is in such a great spot. You would have wanted Cape Town Spurs to be a part of that. So maybe they could get relegated, and that's down to maybe things in the boardroom, because clearly people are unhappy there. We hear stories. We hear about Morton. We hear Erasmus. He didn't even join, but he went to train with them. You hear of things happening in and around, and it feels like up top there are issues there, and those issues are filtering down. I mean, there's a quality player at Cape Town Spurs right now. I'm not going to mention any names, who should be playing in the Betway Premiership. So you can see the ripple effect. I really hope they get their house in order, because they've been a supplier. With respect to Stellenbosch FC, we know Cape Town Spurs as the suppliers of players. We know them as that pipeline, not only for European teams but also for the rest of the league. So if they get the house in order, history tells it that good players will come from there.
Cape Town Spurs is also known, man, for their incredible academy, man.
Mm.
And you've mentioned a few players that went overseas, the Benny McCarthy's of this world, the Tulani Serreros of this world. So is there anything, maybe Nyana, that you know that you might share with us that is happening there? And if not, maybe do you think they can still maintain their place in the Calais Africa Cup Championship and then maybe come back in the PSL?
In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, they've got the wrong coach.
Yeah,
They've got
yeah,
the
yeah.
wrong coach. If someone gets relegated with you in the PSL and you go down with them to the Gladder Championship and you're still not getting the results, a certain coach is available who took them up. So If they know what's good for them, I think they would get hold of Coach Sean Bartlett, and he will steady the ship for the season. They may not come back to the Betway because I mean they're fighting other demons right now, but they know what to do. They know who to call, and they just need to do the right thing.
No, that's what is happening there is heartbreaking. As a young boy growing up, I knew Ajax Cape Town, man. They were playing some of their best football. I remember when they lost the league, I think 2 games before the end of the season or a game before the end of the season. So seeing such a team going down, it's heartbreaking. But let me come back to you, Vuyani. One last question, maybe on Stellenbosch, man. Do you think, in your own opinion, Uguti, Stellenbosch is a source of good players, especially for the big three? Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and Mamelodi Sundowns in terms of players that they are producing and maybe babanikeza ukuthi ababathenge. You look at Diano van Rooyen, former captain of Stellenbosch. He went to Orlando Pirates. You look at a player like Jaden Adams. He recently joined the Mamelodi Sundowns. We know also Fawas Basadine is being looked at by Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, and also Mamelodi Sundowns. Is Stellenbosch a source of the big three in terms of providing them with the quality players?
Hey, Lefatse, I feel like right now we should rename our club from Stellenbosch to Kimberley because wow, that's where the source is. I'm telling you. I mean, I think credit to the Steve Barker and his technical team. They've done amazing work because Stellenbosch is a plug and play type of club. We will go and find somebody that will try and plug the hole, and then we know within a few seasons, if we're playing good football, they're going to end up going to one of the bigger guys. So to answer your question, I definitely think that right now the quality that we are producing, we can liken ourselves to a Southampton, that was playing under Mauricio Pochettino. We can liken ourselves to an Arsenal under Arsene Wenger, whereby it's a plug and play. And I mean, Utato Khiba just arrived, but there's talks of him in a season or two going to either Pirates or going to Chiefs. And it's just a testament of how hard they push these boys. Because if I'm looking at Stellenbosch as a club, before we used to sign big name players and it never worked out. But now with some of these, I wouldn't say unknown, but some of these players that go under the radar, they come to Stellenbosch and they look like fresh players in the league, whereby they've been here for many many seasons. So I definitely think we are a gold mine, and we will keep on producing talent season after season. But my biggest fear obviously comes to we can't be such a selling club. We need to also try and retain.
Yeah. No, no, you are making a very valid point there, Vuyani. You are making a very valid point. We saw Stellenbosch finishing third last season, and one may ask themselves if they had kept Jaden Adams, if they had kept Diano van Rooyen, and they've brought in Tato Kiba and Lesibangu, is that not transforming the squad? Maybe before we close this one off, Gerald, let me come to you. You have a Stellenbosch, you have a Cape Town City. What does that mean for the city of Cape Town, normal for the people in Cape Town, to have these two teams not only in the Betway Premiership but also doing very well, competing? What does that mean for the people of Cape Town?
It's a big thing. It's a big thing, and I will say something that I don't know whether the rest of the country has caught up with, but as us on the ground, there's a beautiful rivalry going on between Stellenbosch FC and Cape Town City. I will put my head on the chopping block and say that is, yeah, he's shaking his head, but I'll make my point. I know why he's shaking his head. That is the most entertaining derby after the Soweto derby right now. And that is the most growing derby in the country after the Soweto derby. If you are someone who enjoys derbies, just keep an eye on them. Yes, Stellenbosch had dominated that game and they found a way. But they know when they go to that game, it's not, they know that they will be given a run around. They know that there will be a turnaround, especially at the Danny Craven. So to go back to your question, it's beautiful. We love it. When I see fixtures being released, I was actually looking at it later today. By the way, the last game of the season is going to be Stellenbosch FC versus Cape Town City. So already as fans, we look at such fixtures. So I think it's a growing fixture and we just need both to keep competing because if they compete, who knows? Maybe we might get cup finals here. Maybe we might get preference, So it's going to grow Cape Town. It's growing. It's exciting. I'm loving it. I just need Cape Town City to pull their socks and win a derby or two just to make it fair.
Yeah. Vuyani, I'm giving you exactly 30 seconds. I need your thoughts on this one before we close this one off.
No, you know what, Lefatse, he's onto something. I mean, it's a very exciting and interesting derby, especially leading up to the final days. But I just want to correct him. It's not a derby if it's one-sided. I don't think he even remembers when last Cape Town City beat Stellenbosch. And on top of that, we
Nice,
can't
sugar.
keep carrying the Cape Town team in the cup competitions. We're playing on Thursday. But jokes aside, no, man, we definitely are enjoying the football happening in the Western Cape. And yeah, like Mr. G has said, we'd like to see a cup final. They must give us the Nedbank Cup at least. I'm just putting it out there.
All right. No, we will see the fixture on the last day of the season, Stellenbosch versus Cape Town City, and we would like to see what will happen there. Thank you very much.